This is Amy Huff. I'm just wanting to update everyone that we will proceed with this hearing, but reconvene next week to allow the public, any public members who've not been able to participate, an opportunity to testify. Good morning. I call this meeting to order, this hearing. Again, my name is Amy Huff. I'm General Counsel for the Nebraska Department of Education, and I will be the presiding officer conducting the hearing virtually today, October 15th, 2025, using Zoom on the proposed revisions to Title 92 and Nebraska Administrative Code, Chapter 11, also known as Rule 11, regulations for approval of pre-kindergarten programs established by school boards or educational service units, and for the issuance of early childhood education grants. The legal notice of the hearing was published for this hearing in the Omaha World Herald on September 12th, 2025. To begin the hearing on Rule 11, a Nebraska Department of Education staff member will describe and explain the proposed rule. This will be followed by testimony by interested persons. Each person presenting written or oral testimony is requested to state and spell your first and last name and provide a general indication of where you live, such as city, county, or school district. State a concise suggestion or recommendation of what action you would like the board to take, and state the rationale or reason for your recommendation. You may reinforce, but please refrain from repeating previous testimony. Each person testifying will be limited to 5 minutes. If additional time is needed, it may be provided at the discretion of the presiding officer. At the conclusion of all testimony from interested persons, the Nebraska Department of Education staff member who opened this rule will have the opportunity to respond to the testimony presented today, which will conclude the testimony. The testimony presented will be recorded, and the recording will be made available to the State Board of Education and to the public via YouTube at the time the State Board considers the adoption of this rule. All written testimony must be submitted to the hearing official prior to 5 p.m. today in order to be made part of the record of this hearing. The email for submitting written comments is nde.rulehearing@nebraska.gov. This email address may also be found on the department's website at www.education.ne.gov by following the rules and regulations link on the right side of the page to the public notices of upcoming rule hearings. At this time, we will begin the hearing on Rule 11, regulations for the approval of pre-kindergarten programs established by school boards or educational service units, and for the issuance of early childhood education grants, with Melody Hobson from the Nebraska Department of Education describing and explaining the proposed revisions. Ms. Hobson, you may begin.
Thank you. The following are the proposed changes to Rule 11. The definition of a pre-kindergarten program has been revised to be inclusive of kindergarten eligible children pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statutes 791101 to 791103. The definition of instructional time has been changed to include home visits as instructional time. The requirement that curriculum be consistent with the science of reading has been added. Wording has been added which clarifies that children in pre-kindergarten programs may not be suspended pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statute 79-6501, and that each school district shall develop and implement a policy which shall include alternatives to suspension. The Rule 11 teacher waiver process has been simplified. A category of classroom staffing entitled teacher assistant has been added. Wording has been added that a teacher assistant can be employed in the before and after school hours and in infant and toddler classrooms under some conditions. And finally, early childhood paraeducator requirements have been changed to match federal requirements for paraeducators. And that would be the substantive changes.
And is there testimony regarding these revisions? Mr. Clark.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. My name is Mitchell Clark, MITCHELLCLARK, and I am a policy advisor at First 5 Nebraska, based in Lincoln. a statewide public policy organization that supports quality early care and learning opportunities for Nebraska's youngest children. I'm here to testify in support of the proposed Rule 11 changes, particularly those which streamline the waiver process for teacher certification, provide alternative pathways for classroom staff, and clarify the use of early literacy materials and instruction. The proposed changes are both timely and necessary to address the demand for high-quality early childhood education in Nebraska, a cornerstone for children's long-term success. However, as everyone knows, programs continue to face significant staffing shortages due to broader workforce challenges and more competitive wages in other school settings. Since the initial waiver was implemented, enrollment in public preschool has rebounded, but data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicates that the number of preschool teachers is rebounding more slowly. Streamlining the waiver process in Section 3 is necessary to ensure that pre-kindergarten programs can navigate staffing challenges. Likewise, the alternative pathways proposed in Section 5 will help fill the pipeline of qualified educators by introducing a new teacher assistant classification and aligning paraeducator requirements with federal law. The proposed changes in Section 5.03 also acknowledge developments in early literacy instruction by reiterating the need for research-based materials in the classroom and training procedures aligned with age-appropriate reading science. Research-based early literacy tools are essential to supporting literacy outcomes at higher grade levels, unlocking future opportunities for Nebraska's youngest learners. Thank you again for the opportunity to testify today. I'm happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Hearing none, I thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public who would like to provide testimony? Don't see any other members raising their hand. And at this time, Ms. Hobson, is there anything that you would like to add?
Just want to say thank you to everyone for their patience and for your interest in the revision of Rule 11.
And I just would like to reiterate that the hearing will be reconvened next week and that the date and time will be posted to the NDE website later this week in order to allow any additional members of the public to contribute. This closes the hearing on the proposed revisions to Rule 11. As Melody mentioned, thank you so much for your time and your patience in waiting for us to start the hearing. Thank you.